Okay, everybody, welcome to another Dead by Daylight video. So this video isn't really going to be specifically about Chucky, however the end point will be. But to get to the main topic of this is the question of what is a stealth killer in Dead by Daylight. Now, this seems like an obvious answer to some, and I asked around, and for a lot of people, they're very confident with what their answer is to this question. But I think it's a little bit more nuanced than a lot of us give it credit for. Very similar to the M1 versus M2 killer debate. What exactly is an M1 killer? Is Deathslinger an M1 killer? Because technically speaking, he M1s you to get the hit, not spearing you. Technically speaking, by all logic and definition, Trapper is an M2 killer. He gets his downs with his traps. Not always, but he can. Regardless of that debate that I won't get into, I've had many times, the strength or the stealth killer aspect is something I want to talk about. So what exactly is a stealth killer? Now, some of the answers I got, probably the most common response was it's a killer that can use undetectability in their kit. I don't agree with this one. And the reason being is because there's a lot of killers in this game who have undetectability in their kit that don't technically utilize it in the same way as others. And a few examples I'm going to give, and the one I keep constantly bringing up that I think people forget about is Singularity. Singularity, by technicality, does have an undetectability effect in his kit. Whenever he goes into his camera, he loses his terror radius completely. Now, he can't move during this is very true, but he can still use that effect. Dredge gets undetectability in Nightfall, something he doesn't have much control over. Skull Merchant gets undetectability whenever she places a drone, and Sadako is another killer I wouldn't technically count because she can also get undetectability when she goes into her power. But she has a lullaby and a tell, so I wouldn't count that. Chucky has an undetectability, which we'll get into here in a minute on why I really don't think he's a stealth killer either. But the other thing I saw was someone using their stealth power to get closer to the survivors and hit them. And I feel like this is every killer, and most killers just do it in a different way. And the problem with this is what defines using the power to get close. Because again, with Skull Merchant as an example, if she throws a drone up while she's walking towards someone, does that automatically make her a stealth killer since she's using the undetectable in that instance to get closer to the survivors? Again, what about Dredge, or what about Singularity? If Singularity pops his undetectability, like he goes into a camera to like sit in a spot and kind of hope the survivors come towards him, is that technically him being a stealth killer in that aspect? And see, this is the biggest problem to it. And I do want to hear everyone's opinions on this because I've asked other content creators, I've asked on the Twitters, I've asked on Blue Sky, I've asked on the YouTubes, and in my Discord and such. By the way, you should follow the Discord, it's below. We actually have a lot of fun over there with discussions and such, just like this one. But in any case, the question becomes, what exactly is a stealth killer to me, and why don't I consider Chucky one? To me, a stealth killer is a killer that uses a power to completely negate their location to the survivor, and that is the main purpose of their power. Now, the reason why I say the main purpose, because this is also a very arbitrary term, and it's relatively speaking of what it means. Because by that logic, you could say Pig is a stealth killer, because she has no tells, she can use her undetectability to get close. However, she moves extremely slowly in her undetectability. And similar to Chucky, who again we'll get to here in a minute, she doesn't really use her crouch for the stealth aspect. She can, but that's not the main purpose. The main purpose is it's a catalyst to use her ambush attack. And that's where the main use of the crouch comes to. However, there are two killers in the game, in my opinion, who are stealth killers. And the only two true stealth killers in the game, and that is Wraith and Ghostface. And even then, to a degree, Wraith isn't even really a stealth killer either, because while he uses his stealth to get close, he's mostly using it as a catalyst to get that speed boost. And you could make the argument again that Ghostface is only using it for the exposed. But at the same time, I think Ghostface is using it to its fullest. His entire power revolves around his undetectability. And I think that's the thing with a lot of these other killers. A lot of them, the undetectability is kind of just there. Not to say it's useless, but it's kind of just there. It doesn't quantify itself with the rest of the kit. It doesn't feel like an integral building piece. Skull Merchant, I think, is the biggest example of this. While I'm not going to sit here and complain that she has undetectability when she places the drone, I honestly do not understand why it's there. It feels like it's just a bygone thing from her first iteration when she used to get undetectability in the drone's range. But, I mean, it is what it is. But moving on to Chucky and why I don't consider him a stealth killer. So there's a few reasons I don't. And the biggest one that I bring up all the time is that he has his 12-meter laugh. the directional 12-meter laugh. He cannot use his stealth in a chase. He can use it prior to the chase, but not in it most of the time as a stealth option. The way I often describe Chucky is he's more of a sneaky killer than a stealth killer. And remember, this laugh happens for any reason. It's not just hidey-ho mode. It's any undetectable. So even if he's going insidious, using unforeseen, etc., this laugh goes off and gives away his exact position within 12 meters. Now, granted, Slice and Dice is longer than 12 meters, so he can get a hit from you from there, but then he screams the direction he's coming from. So he's not really stealthing up to you. He's more sneaking to you, using line of sight blockers to hide his approach, but not necessarily like sneaking up on you like a ghost. Cough, cough, Wraith, and Ghostface. The other caveat to this, and I'm going to bring up Sadako here, and this is why I often make this distinction. Sadako does have undetectability in her kit. However, she also has a lullaby. I still don't know why she has this, but she has a lullaby when she's in that mode. I believe it's 24 meters. Someone can correct me on that. But even a killer like Dracula, when he goes into bat form, I've been told it's 40 meters away the survivors can hear the bats making their noises. So you can't really use it to sneak up on the survivors necessarily. Maybe get closer, but not necessarily get like right on top of them without using the teleport itself. Same with Chucky. While you can use it to get closer, you can't use it to get right on top of them. And to me, that is what makes a stealth killer a stealth killer. Someone who can use the stealth to literally get right on top of the survivor without them knowing. And a lot of killers, unfortunately, don't fit that bill in my mind. A lot of killers have stealth aspects to them and stealth powers within their kit, but they themselves are not a stealth killer. And I find it odd that we haven't had a stealth killer in a very long time. Honestly, Ghostface was the last, in my opinion, true stealth killer. And I wonder if there's a reason for that. There probably is some design philosophy on the fact that stealth killers tend to be very feast or famine killers that only either work against the top end or the low end and not very good against the top end, because unless it completely denies information, like the top end kind of gets rid of the entire stealth gameplay, because you're literally, the thing stealth is good at is denying info, and in a Swift situation, denying info isn't really a thing. But going back to Chucky, the reason why I wanted to do this is because I feel like it's a common misconception that he is a stealth killer, because I hear a lot of people bring up his undetectability as part of the reason why his kit is, quote, overloaded. But again, he tells you when he activates his power. You see the footsteps going around you, so you know he's in it. Once he's close enough within those 12 meters, you hear him directionally. Within 16 meters, if he was the same height as a survivor, you see footsteps, so you have an indicator there. It's to the point where the logic of how the laugh works, it's louder by about 2 decibels if you're not looking in his direction. So it literally helps you if you don't know where he is. And this is why, again, I just don't classify Chucky as a stealth killer. Now, over the past week, I have been testing a undetectable build on him. I did swap some of the perks around, but mostly it was Amulet and Strobe Light like I've been running, and then a few other perks that just grant undetectability. Dark Devotion, I think I threw Tinkerer in there, and things like that, just to see how well it worked. While I did get some cheeky hits where I would run up on survivors without them knowing, a lot of the times this was because they were either not paying attention, didn't care, it was the line of sight that was hiding me, or, in my opinion, they weren't wearing headphones. There's a lot of these hits where I'm just like, okay, you just didn't care and we're not listening. And I think I've said this so many times before about Chucky in particular. Chucky is a killer that kind of forces you to pay attention. And I don't mean this in a rude way, but I think that's part of the reason people don't like Chucky. And I think it's part of the reason why people don't like a very certain sect of killers. Because you can't, like, and I don't want to say turn your brain off necessarily, but you kind of have to focus more when you're playing against Chucky than when you're playing against other killers, because of his short stature, because of the visual and audio overload sometimes that happens with the footsteps and things like that. And especially in a loop, you basically have to put your brain on overdrive, because he could be to the left, he could be to the right. If you're not holding the proper spot, you don't know where he's coming from. And then throw in the fact that there's also the chance that he can slice and dice you immediately. There's a lot of things that go into that. But basically, my main point with this is I do not classify Chucky as a stealth killer. And I think the community's definition of stealth killer is a little too broad, in my opinion. I don't think a killer just having undetectability makes him a stealth killer. I think that is way, way, way too broad of a definition. Because, again, it means that technically speaking, Singularity is a stealth killer. And so is Xenomorph. And we all know Xenomorph's not a stealth killer because the turrets literally tell you where Xenomorph is, regardless of their terror radius. So, I mean, again, it's a very hard definition to get correct. And I think Gaming Athlete put it the best. Shout outs to them. Very popular Dredgeman. When I asked him, he basically said that the definition of a stealth killer really doesn't matter. What matters is the gameplay style of the killer. Because Dredge, by definition, is a stealth killer. However, you don't really play him like a stealth killer. And I think that's what's more important is the gameplay style rather than these terms trying to categorize the killers in like certain ways. I think there are definitely ways to do this, but I think they require a lot more nuance than a lot of us are willing to give. Because with the stealth killer aspect, I think it's much like a sliding bar, and every killer kind of fits on this bar in a different way. Some are farther on the stealth end, some are farther on the sneaky end, some don't even really use it, and it's just weird like that. And like I said earlier, it's the same way with like the definition of an M1 killer. What does it really mean? But in any case, I've got some gameplay of me playing Stealth Chucky with undetectable builds. Hope you guys like it as always. And I see y'all next week. Have a good one. And bye. Is slow down.
Can't keep a good guy down.
Wondering about every dash killer that isn't Oni or Houndmaster. Do you classify Houndmaster as a dash killer, by the way? Should have stopped moving. Because someone was bringing that up on one of my videos where they were like, there's too many dash killers in Dead by Daylight. Where the fuck are my hooks? And my only thought to that was we haven't really had a true dash killer since Chucky and Wesker. Like, we had Chucky, right? Before Chucky, Wesker was really the only other one. And Wolf Form Dracula, I guess. I hate this game. I love this game. Who had no dash was unknown.
Guess who's coming for you?
Vecna didn't really have a dash. I wouldn't count the fly as a dash. Ooh, that would have been clean. I should have turned more. Oh, I have trail. I should probably use that.
Hiding, I just want to play.
Hello. You're not wearing headphones, are you? I don't think she's wearing headphones. Oh, no, she actually might have been. That was over 60%. Okay, never mind. Yeah, she might have been wearing headphones. So yeah, for those who don't know... For those who don't know, Chucky's laugh can't be heard over a gen that is 60% or more completed. Dead hard? Okay. Chuck spotted Yunjin has dead hard. I need to remember this.
We're gonna play a little game with hooks.
I think Vecna is half dash killer. I mean, again, it like depends. Also, hi Yoshi. Pinhead is my favorite dash killer. There you go. Pinhead, the best dash killer. Also, just Larry things.
I don't have time for this shit.
We get rapid from that. Interesting play. I think she legitimately did not know where I was. Yeah, it's strobe light.
How's it hanging?
That works for me. I get Dark Devotion off of that. She had dead hard, by the way. I need to remember this. I remembered. That is my favorite thing on the planet, is remembering someone has dead hard. They get so confident with it as a certified Leon moment. I mean, he was trying to just stop me from tunneling her, so can't say I blame him. I saw the scratch marks. You had life.
This is gonna be fun.
Hear me out. Hear me out. They add a thing whenever a survivor shows an exhaustion perk, you get a little icon next. I'm kidding, don't do that. Oh, that would have been clean as fuck.
Take this, dipshit.
Alright, Leon, you got a choice to make, my friend. Jen or friend? Make it now. Scamper feels really good. Yeah, it does when it works. The sad thing is, like, that like 90-degree turn is technically... Actually, if this fucking chair wasn't in the way, I probably would have hit her. He doesn't really have an option to get her, does he? That I wouldn't notice. I didn't think so. Oh, hang on. Ha 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 ha! I have game sense, Leon. Very strong. Yeah, No Way Out. Also, Chucky is very good at in-game builds with Terminus, No Way Out, and portable TV. No one expects it, but like a lot of times, since he can't really pressure the game too much when there's gens to be done. He can pressure decently well. I would like to mention he almost hopped that. He almost hopped the window right into me.
Everyone hiding. I just want to play.
Yeah, yep. That was not exactly a 50-50 for him. But I'm sure it felt like it. My girlfriend's texting me. She doesn't understand, chat. She doesn't understand, chat. Also, chat, I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna say something about an interaction I had with my girlfriend that will have no context of any kind. I'll take it. That still gives me the lethal. And this will give me Trail of Torment. And now, babe. Charles Leroy Sigma grandson. So here's the non-context. I thought he hopped it. The non-context, I ended up sending her a video of a snake pooping. That is the non-context. You will not know why I did that or how it was fine, but that is a video I sent her not too long ago.
I'm one of the good guys.
She healed the Leon. I thought for sure my mans was gonna...
Good time.
We do that, we get the rapid value, he's Dark Devoted.
Where'd you go? Come on. I don't fight.
Ooh, nice. That forced him to go down. I'm gonna leave him. You don't think. I think they're really in love, chat.
You're mine, asshole.
I think they're really in love, chat. I should have put the Ada on the hook. Also, I would like to mention, even with all of this tomfoolery, they have been able to crank out the gens just fine. Hello. Well, you're on death hook now.
Where the hell do you think you're going? Up you go.
I think is everyone on death hook now? I believe everyone's on death hook now. Shoulder the burden value? I know, right? She completely left. Nice. Nice.
You're mine, asshole.
Chuck spot her. I was wondering where the hooks on this side of the map were.
Yeah.
Still hit that. No fucking way I still hit that. They healed up. They were over here. Also, I swear this happens every time on Swamp. For whatever reason, they always end up 3-genning themselves. And I don't know why.
And stay down.
Up you go.
That's gotta hurt.
Well, I'll take the 3K. Chucky owns Survivor's Effects and Logic. There you go. That was a pretty okay match, I feel. Again, considering no slowdown, like a 3K on Swamp, I'll take it. I mean, he should just leave, right? Yeah, I think the snowball definitely helped. It also helped that the Ado was like being very adamant about going for the Leon. Oh, my bad. I was looking at the thing, and I thought I heart my Leon was him for a second. Whoops. Watch me leave. Watch me leave. Nope. Did I break that? I broke that pallet. Is there any walls to break on Swamp? I don't think there is. Because it hasn't been updated yet. Now here's the question, though. Did I get that snowball going because I was in stealth? For most of that? Or did I get the snowball going just because I'm playing Chucky? You know what I mean? Like, that's the hard thing to determine here. Because, I mean, the Alucard ran right into me when I was undetectable, so he either wasn't listening or doesn't know. Hey, I got my challenge done. I forgot I had that. Wow, this man really does just want to waste my time, huh? I think it made a difference in the macro sense because they didn't know where I was exactly. Especially on Swamp when you can't see him, I think it does matter a bit. But I think on most normal maps, I don't think it's as big of a deal as some people make it. In comparison, someone has no mither. In comparison, Skull Merchants, someone can correct me on this. Someone can correct me on this. Skull Merchant was at, like, I believe she was at, like, 1.5%, and she dropped to 50%. Or 0.5%. So, like, she didn't drop nearly as much as Chucky did. At least in terms of percentage-wise. Like, the number is lower, obviously. She's going to run right to main building. I'm not going to worry about that. We're going to come back. We're going to hit this trail. I think I saw Leon over here. I'm actually going to set a trap with this. Nice dodge. We get rapid value from that. I think I could have hit that. Oh, very good. I don't know if she did that on purpose. Oh, she kept running! I like this Rebecca. She knows what she's doing. Hot damn, she ran far. I haven't seen any Chucky since the changes. I don't know. A lot of people have been saying they still see him a lot. So it's not like he's non-existent. Like, people still see him. Like, a 2% pick rate is still respectable, you know? Like, that is nothing to sneeze at. It's Kermit the dog. Kermit the, dog. Oh, I thought for sure he'd double back. I know he had life. I think he realized that I would just slice and dice and hit him there. I feel like they had an amazing quality of life patch with Vecna and others and dropped the ball with Skully and admired with Chucky. Well, yeah, and that's the other thing. Like, I feel like for some of these changes, like, I keep saying this. I do feel like people overstate just, like, the state of the game at the moment, as far as, like... As far as, like, fears for changes, because of Chucky and Skull Merchant. Because I keep saying this over and over again, almost every other change this year has been a good one for a killer. Almost every other one has been an amazing change for, like, every killer. Doctor, Bubba. Hag, Clown. Huntress is debatable, but it was still, like, it buffed her. For sure, you know? Becky, if you're just done... Yeah, no. Becky, I'm sorry. Yeah, you don't just get out, Becky.
Let's keep it on the down low.
Also, he plot twisted, which is fine. Yeah, Becky, if you're just gonna give up on your team, nah, mate. He's over here somewhere. I love this video game.
Guess who's coming for you?
Also, that gen fully regressed.
Where the hell are you going?
Alright, now I'll let her go.
There you go.
Hey, they finally started working on the gen again, chat. Let's go.
Hey, who's next?
Oh, there are so many other gens they could be working on. They keep trying to do this one. Like, I play a lot of Night and Vecna. They aren't specifically my fan favorites, but if they just get gutted because of the community, it just feels bad. I mean, who knows? Vecna's, like, doing really well right now, kill rate-wise. So we don't know for sure. I know a lot of Vecnas were scared about the changes he was getting. But I think the thing with the Chucky changes that makes it even more terrifying, though, is just, it happened in a hot patch. Like, we didn't even have an opportunity to test it. They just dropped it. No consensus whatsoever from the community. Oh, these doors are fucking diabolical. I don't think my terror radius reaches either of them either. Now with strobe light. Also, I kind of feel bad for the Claudette because she brought that invocation, and it doesn't matter because I have an undetectable build.
Let's play the
I only tried. Kermit the dog.
subscribe, damn it. I'll be back. I always come back, and so should you, you moron.